Can you see up my shorts, or it's okay?
I cannot see up your shorts.
Okay. Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris from WearTesters.com. Today we're at Puma headquarters with Jeremy. He is the lead designer on the Puma MB.02. Nowadays, brands typically will talk about design teams, but they don't talk about the actual designers. All of us know Tinker, we know Avar, but we don't know Jeremy. So we are here today to talk to him. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience and just kind of give them a feel for your background here at Puma Basketball.
My name is Jeremy Sallee. I'm the head of design for Puma Basketball, actually the head of apparel and footwear. I've been here for 3 years now. Started with the Clyde Hardwood. That was my first shoe here, and we've been going ever since. One other footwear designer, Jacob Garcia, shout out to him, did the MB.01, killed that.
Definitely.
But yeah, we're just getting started.
Well, since you didn't do the MB.01, but you're on the MB.02, was that difficult to try and like evolve the shoe from one to the next?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's difficult. I think it's so young and it's so much in its infancy that it was the first shoe, so there's still a lot to play with. We kind of focused on his tattoos and stuff at first. We're just getting started with that too. There's a lot to pull from Melo. Melo's a big personality, great player, and a lot of exciting stuff coming.
How is it working with someone like him, especially with his age? He's a little on the young side, especially for a signature athlete. So like, what is that like working directly with an athlete of his caliber?
Like they say, there's only one Melo. Mm-hmm. He is rare. He is not from here. He is all those things that he loves to call himself, and we call him as well. He's a perfect person to do a signature shoe for because there's just so much to work with. He's exciting. His game is exciting. You know, he's young. He's got all the kids love him. Melo loves the kids. He's grown up on the internet. Everyone knows his story. Everybody knows his family. So yeah, a lot to work with.
Definitely. As far as feedback from the athlete, he obviously was wearing this shoe, the MB.01, last season. Is there anything specific that he requested to have changed in the second model?
Melo's a creature of habit, so he likes a lot of the same things. He likes the similar cut. That's why you'll see a similar top line on a lot of his shoes. He likes the same radiuses because he plays a certain way. He's kind of loosey-goosey, so he has to have a lot of freedom and movement and whatnot. In terms of like his specific things that he likes, his preference in color changes quite a bit.
Okay.
So like, you know, the first shoe, there's a lot of tonal all over one color shoes. This next shoe, we've had an opportunity to do a little bit more color blocking.
Are we going to see layering of color?
Yes, we'll see some layering of color, so that'll be nice to get into that. And he's actually evolving even more as we work on new shoes now, but he's more of a color guy, so like we'll have conversations with him all day. He'll text back after we just had a conversation, change his mind, but it's all good, man. It comes out the best if we can get what he wants. One
of the more popular colorways of the first model was the Rick and Morty's. Was that his idea, or was that a collaborative effort between the two of you guys?
So when we first sat down with Melo before we signed him? It may have been before we signed him. Just getting kind of like creative brainstorming of what he likes and like what would be some concepts we could come up with, and we would ask him like, you know, what's your favorite cereal? What's your favorite TV show? Who's your favorite player? Blah, blah, blah. Melo's his favorite player, by the way.
That's awesome.
But
that's supreme confidence.
It is. He's supremely confident. But we just ask him all those like bigger questions, and it kind of like leads it into different ways to come up with colorways. You know, whether it's inspiration for the actual design of the shoe. That's how we got to the Rick and Morty thing. That's one of his favorite cartoons.
From there, how difficult was it to actually get licensing?
Puma does a really good job. We do a really good job here. The team does a good job of going to get who we want to get and who we want to work with. There's never a collaboration too big for someone to at least ask the question whether we should work with them or not. And we've done quite a bit at this point. So yeah, we just went and asked and they worked out.
This is kind of like a random thought that just came into my mind, but when you do a shoe like that where it's one color on one and then the other, like how is that for manufacturing? Is it more expensive to do something like that?
It is not necessarily more expensive, but there's some more testing that has to go into it because of color of EVA changes some of the softness and whatnot. That's why certain shoes, the same shoe in different colors may feel a little bit different because the chemistry's a little bit off. So we have to go back and do more testing in terms of like, you know, making sure everything's matching up between the pairs. That was the biggest thing. Other than the fact that, you know, back in the day that it was hard to sell a shoe or two different pairs of shoes or two different color shoes in one pair.
Yeah.
Nowadays kids love that, so it's like it is what it is. And growing up when NBA couldn't wear anything but like team colors,
yes,
that was like, I mean, I was okay with it, but I understand it was like put us in a box
Well, so it's easier then?
Definitely easier
you
now.
Can really play with color.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely easier now than it was then.
What is your favorite aspect of designing a shoe then? Is it the color or is it the shoe itself?
Mine is the shoe itself. I'm a shape designer. I can sketch all day. Like, I've been doing this since I was 12, so it was like my whole thing was to get it on somebody's foot. A good shoe should take color really well, no matter what the color is. So in my opinion, the fun part is the shoe for me. Color's cool too. It can take it to the next level, but I do love doing a dope shoe.
What is your education background? Did you go to school for design, or like what did you do to get to this place that you're at now?
I actually went to school. I played basketball at the University of Akron, and while I was there was no major it was no ID major at my school. So I had to make my own curriculum. So I'm a graphics, fashion, business major. I had to get it all approved by the dean and all this stuff, but it was basically all around me having and running a shoe company. I've been drawing since I was 12, so I always knew what I wanted to do.
This has been the goal?
Yeah, this has been it the whole time, was to do shoes since I was 12. That's where it started. Then I got an apprenticeship at another competitor that we won't talk about, but after that it was just off and running.
For Melo's PE, one thing that I actually like about him is that he wears the colors that we can buy, something that we don't see on a lot of these signature athletes nowadays. However, is his PE specific to him as far as like the last shape, or is he playing in exactly what we're playing in?
First off, the colors, yes, we try to get him into as many commercial colors as possible, but he's also got his special colorways that we may release in future seasons.
Oh, really? So nothing's off limits?
We won't say if we will or we won't, but we might release some of that stuff later. But he's got his special like tongue that he uses, certain words that aren't on the normal shoes. The last is actually built off of his last, the commercial last. Yeah, the
really?
commercial last is the Melo last.
So you're getting his fit just scaled down to whatever your size is?
Yep, you're getting the Melo official last. The goal is to build the shoe so whatever Melo's wearing, we can wear. That's the goal, because that's the best shoe that.
Correct.
If he's wearing it, it must be good enough for him to wear it. Then everybody should get the same.
That's how I feel. It's always frustrating when you
Right.
find out other brands are kind of like faking the funk a little bit. So we get the cheap stuff, and then the player gets. But we're the one fronting the bill. So
Right.
It's frustrating as a customer, but it's nice to know that what they're getting is what we're getting as far as a PUMA product goes.
Exactly, and specifically for Melo, that was like a big point.
For me personally, I know that I've reviewed plenty of your guys' shoes, especially since you restarted the basketball program here. How do you handle someone like me or other customers where our feedback can be positive, it can also sway pretty negative? I try my best to not be super mean about it, but sometimes it comes across, it just depends.
You be mean sometimes.
I know. I think I did throw one of the shoes. I'm sorry.
You did.
About
It was
that.
mine. It's all good. It's all good.
But you've made some great ones since. But when you see something like that or you hear something like that, how do you respond?
If there's merit behind it, then it is what it is. If something needs to change, we've made rolling changes in the mid-season for certain shoes that something was happening in the market. You know, we're still young in the infancy of as a category. We're learning just as much as anybody else, and we're just going to improve. That's all we're trying to do, is improve as quickly as possible. And we've gotten to a place already where we're already more or less at the top of where we need to be. But you're never too old to learn. So we just take it with no ego and try to fix whatever the problem is. You know, there's also different opinions from different folks. Like, you know, I like a shoe a certain way. You may not like it this way. You know, my feet are skinny. This shoe may work for me. It may not work for you. It's not perfect science, but you know, we do our best to satisfy as many people as we can.
Now, as far as the one versus the two, yesterday I was in here and I was doing a review and everything, and so I had the blown apart version of the shoe.
Oh yeah.
These do differ a little bit tech-wise than the ones. So whose idea was that? Is it just you guys trying to elevate from the original product, or like what's behind all of that stuff?
For me specifically for this shoe, the goal was to slim everything out and make it a more performance-based shoe. We have this culture first approach that we come from Puma basketball anyway. So I was gonna look dope. The whole idea is like you gotta get somebody to pick it up first. So like I'm gonna make a dope shoe that you want to pick up first. But with this specific MB.02, I wanted to slim it out, you know, make it a little lighter, a little more breathable. We added some more nitro in it. So just like increasing it up in the ante on the tech specs and just make a better shoe to play on, a lower ride. We're just constantly trying to improve on the last season. So
okay. When you are out and about and you see people wearing what you've designed, like how's that feel?
Oh, that's the dream. That's what it's all about right there.
Do you ever walk up to him and be like, yo, dude, I did
Oh
that?
yeah, all the time.
Really?
I'm that dude. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm that dude. I'm at Foot Locker like, you like those? Oh, okay. Yeah, I do that. And
Did
then,
they believe you?
And they're like, huh? It's usually I like doing it with the kids
Yeah.
because that's where the dreams are with the kids.
Definitely.
But it's funny because a lot of people just don't know that you can design shoes for a living and make money off of it, like, and have fun and travel the world and just draw shoes.
Yeah.
Somebody has to do it. So like just showing the kids that I'm just a regular dude. I live right down the street from you, and that shoe that you just picked up that you wanted to wear, you could do that too. So like for me, that's like big deal.
That's amazing. It's kind of like what we do. You can just pick up a camera and
Yeah, man.
make a living somehow. It's weird.
Hey man, it's not weird. It's good. You guys do a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, so we have a WearTesters Discord community. It's a great community. On top of that, if you're not a member, we'll have a link down below in the description box. It's a shameless plug. It's a YouTube thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But we have a few questions from some of our members. So the first one is from Duke Starfighter, and he's wondering, how does Puma keep things fresh and new in a market full of different designs and technologies regarding hoop shoes?
As a brand in general, we try to take this, like I said, a culture first. It's got to be dope to wear off court, not just on court approach that we take. So yeah, it started from there. You know, even the athletes that we target, you know, we're looking for people that have personality, that have like, you know, not just athletes, they have other parts about them that people would be attracted to, you know, whether it's fashion, you know, or whether they've been on Instagram or social media, growing up on social media their whole lives. We try to find the special people in the NBA and WNBA, and we start there, and then you get inspired by them, and it kind of works itself out. I'm always just trying to make a banger. I just want to beat everyone to a pulp.
Yeah.
Like the other brands to a pulp. That's like my goal. For me, that's like that's the innate thing that just happens when I'm drawing shoes. But the athletes help.
This is from one of our actual team members, Jackson, but he jokingly asks, you got to ask what kind of voodoo they use for those sticky ass rubber compounds. Even when you guys have like a weird traction pattern, it does grip really well. So is there any secret sauce that y'all are working with when it comes to rubber?
It's a secret.
Josiah Brewster, he's asking if there's going to be a possible Vince Carter retro.
Oh, Vince Carter retro. Probably not, but maybe.
Never say never.
Never say never.
Especially in the shoe industry, anything can happen.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Z Schwartz asks, could you describe your process when creating a new sneaker? What is the first thing you do when you're working on something new?
Depends on what I'm working on. Depends on the time of day. I might just be sketching that day. I love to draw shoes, so like, you know, like I said, I'm a shape designer, so I'll start with just like doing dope shapes. But you may have just traveled to Tokyo and you saw something dope there that you want to do. I'm an anime dude. It might be some anime inspiration in there. It might be some mellow inspiration. It might be a lot. It could be anything. But I'm definitely a sketcher. I'll sketch until I get a nice idea, nice shapes, and then just kind of just develop it until you know, got something good. Things that help right now are I'm using Oculus a lot.
What
and
is that?
The 3D gravity sketch and stuff like that.
So you draw like this?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, you draw like that.
For real?
Yeah. So that's something new that like gets you out of that whole mind space of like 2D flatness. So this gets you to like try new techniques and different ideas that you never do.
Whose idea is that? Is that yours, or is that the brand's, or is that just the industry evolving?
It's the industry evolving, but it's also the brand is definitely taking an initiative and getting into 3D. It's just where things are going. Everything's 3D. You know.
How does that feel? Like going from sketching to whatever that is.
It's weird, but it's not as weird. I think it's because we build stuff with a 3D mindset already. You know, footwear's 3D, so like the way I'm thinking is already in a similar way. Just once you learn the shortcuts, like now that I'm good at it, I can do stuff quickly and like do it.
Did you have to go to a class to like learn how to use that thing?
I learned it on my own, but you can. Yeah, there's definitely classes you could take that would definitely help. But YouTube has everything on it now.
I know.
so
That's how I
like,
learn how to YouTube.
Exactly. Perfect. I've been doing a lot of that lately. That's kind of get you out of those ruts that you get into.
Now this is kind of just something that popped in my mind right now, but if you could review your own shoe, point out anything that maybe somebody doesn't know just by looking at it, just tell people about the product in your way or your flavor, not my flavor, you know what I mean?
Well, that's gonna be hard, man. You do such a good job.
I try, but
well, first
don't
off,
be biased, by the way. You know?
First off, the greatest shoe of all time. But yeah, you know, this whole shoe was based around Melo's wings tattoo on his chest. So I really was attracted to that part of it because, you know, the first one was all about his leg tattoo. It was the sky's the limit, the rocket ship blasting off of his leg. This was another tattoo that kind of he has this like thing with like sort of angels and the ethereal.
So do I, yeah.
Yeah, so
I like it.
He's all about that. I'm all about that life. So this was cool to do something with that subject matter because, you know, it kind of fits with how I roll. It looks like flames, but it's really wings. Call it hot wings sometimes. The insides of both of the lateral media of both shoes are different. So like one says one of one says rare within it. I was trying to be, you know, sneaky with how to put all the words that, you know, describe Melo within the shoe and integrate it better into the design of the shoe. The bottom is actually another wing pattern. It's got one of one built into the rubber.
I just saw that this morning.
Did you see this morning?
Yeah, I thought I was tripping.
There you go.
And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. This in there. But yeah, you know, got a signature up front. The gradient goes from a bright orange to the pink at the bottom, which is like an evolution of the first launch colorway from the first shoe. It's got 2 pods of nitro in it.
If there's one thing that you could change on the shoe, like if you were going to critique it yourself, what would you add or maybe take away?
Ooh, that is a good question. Damn, I can't
some leather, some Puma suede. I mean,
Well, we don't know what's coming next.
oh, that is true. Maybe we got some dope stuff coming.
So we don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of things I would like to do, but we may have done them. You just will have to wait and see.
Okay. Do you wear test your own product?
So as I get older, I wear test a little bit less like yourself.
Yes.
You know,
man, you found out about that?
well, you told everybody.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so I'll wear test as much as I can. My little brother actually plays professionally over in Turkey.
Really?
Yeah, he's my #1 wear tester at this point. He'll get everything early and get to play in it and make sure everything's holding up. I want to play in everything I make first before it makes it in production, just to make sure there's no glaring issues with what's going on.
Yeah. One question I did have for you though is that in addition to the 1 of 1 being in there, is this the Puma mouth? Like,
No.
No.
It's
okay.
just a big ass feather. It's like
Oh,
the different
okay.
layers of a feather, and that's the top of it.
Interesting. I wasn't sure because yesterday we were seeing some of the apparel.
Yeah, there's
and
stuff.
so-
There's stuff that's coming. That's why I say that that's not it now, but we do have some of that.
Okay.
Not on Mellow, but
Well, that's cool. though.
some other stuff coming.
Alrighty, so that pretty much takes care of it for, I guess this is our one-on-one with Jeremy. Did I beat him? I don't know.
He ain't beat me.
No? you think I could? Maybe? If my hip don't pop out? I got
You know
a
what? I got
chance?
2 bad hips too.
Really?
2 bad hips.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
terrible.
It's
terrible.
awful. Must be the shoes. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But anyways, it was fun. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to talk to everybody. We don't do this often, but if you do like this type of content, please let us know because we can always maybe come back and talk about maybe the 3rd shoe, possibly a 4th. I don't really know. But yeah, stay tuned for everything. Puma's got some sick stuff coming. We have seen it already. There's this one shoe in particular, in addition to this, that is fire. So if you hoop and you like tech that's outside the box, this is probably one of the brands you're going to want to keep your eye on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. We'll catch you on the next one. So until then, have a good one.